Oh, dear me. Hello, everybody out there. This is Chris. I'm just getting ready to start streaming. I don't have a chat box actually over the top of this, so I'm just going to try and find the chat for the wiki itself. The demo's just gone live, so, you know, fingers crossed. I just have to find where the heck my broadcast will be. It doesn't tell me where my broadcast is, so it could be going off to the moon for all I know. Oh, here we are. Live streaming the wiki, blah de blah de blah. That's literally what I'm doing now. Okay, so where does this go? Where's my strikey? So hello to everyone who's currently there waiting for the broadcast to start. It's very exciting to see you there. I will be starting in 5 minutes. In the meantime, I'm going to turn this off so that you don't have to listen to my clickety-clackety keyboard. Just a quick note, 3 minutes, and then we'll be starting the broadcast. Again, it's lovely to have so many people here. Yay! Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I will be switching over now to the to the gameplay, no user interface thing. So, here we go in just 10 seconds. The gameplay, no user. So, here we go in just 10 seconds. Wow, it's just repeating what I said there. That's not especially helpful. Why can I not turn off the audio? Switching over now the gameplay, no user. So. Wow, that was not helpful. Never mind. Errors are perfectly normal. I'm going to get them all the damn time. So, everybody, I hope you're doing well. Cris, or Cris Robson. I am the developer of this. Now, I've got this suspicion it's going to keep playing this at me. I just want to get the chat on here just in case anyone has any questions, so please bear with me. I know that like a lot of people got scared away by the sounds it was making, which was a little bit infuriating, so just be 2 minutes, I promise you. You can hear my dogs are doing stupid dog things because they're puppies and that's what they do. Right then, so hello. So I'm Cris, I'm the developer of the Wickie. With me, coming in and out of the room occasionally, is Amanda. Pretty much in charge of the storyline and making sure it all stays cohesive, which is surprising. From home is also Tabitha from Mossy Moth Studios. Hello. Tabitha is responsible for all 2D art and illustration inside of the Wickie. And what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be doing a bit of the Wickie. I'll be also answering questions and talking about what's coming in the future with the Wickie. Now I can see already that there are some exciting issues on with streaming, with dropped and so on. So I do apologise if you've got a bad connection. Entirely possible that's going to happen from time to time because I'm broadcasting from the UK at night, and unfortunately, Farnet is not something you get over here. Anyway, let's go into this. So this is the title screen. I'm going to just drop on into the game right now. So here we go. Click level, and I'll go to Gondola Island. Now, if you're playing along with the demo, your one has just updated to this version. It was quite a large patch. I'm very sorry about that. It was 1 gig. But plus side, you know, it means that the lighting and daylighting system that was having issues is working just fine now. So let's go on in. And it should load it, because at the minute what it does is it loads in some low poly versions first, and here we are in the Wickie. Now I've got the sound turned right down at the moment, okay, because I want to take you on a bit of a tour of what the actual game is before actually doing any gameplay. So the Wickie is an open world game set in the Outer Hebrides in 1936. And the idea of the story is that you are a junior lighthouse keeper and you have came to the island basically to work and to seek your fortune. You're going to meet a lot of new characters while you're doing this, and the characters are going to influence your story. You're going to be able to talk to them, you're going to be able to do quests with them and basically progress the story just as you would with any adventure game. You'll notice that we have this mixture of illustrated and high detail 3D assets going on simultaneously. I like the style. It's a style that I kind of came up with the help of Tabitha, and I think, you know, it works really well for what we're trying to do here with the Wickie. So this is the new set of sailors, the old set of sailors that we were using for a while. They were with us for about a year, but these are the new ones. And this, I believe, is Nigel. So, hello, Nigel. Anyway, I'm not going to talk to him. I'm just going to go down here because I want to walk up to the gondola station. Because the thing is, when we first start in the Wickie, you've got to do your first job, which is you have to actually get to the island. Now, we've been dropped off by the Wanderer. You can just see her over there. And so what we can do is we can basically come onto this small island, which is called Gondola Island. And from here, if you ask around, and this isn't too much of a spoiler, they're going to say, well, it's time for you now to make your way to the main island, because ships can't dock at the main island. That's why it's got a lighthouse on it. Too many rocks. So I know my way round, as you can imagine, so it's going to be a little bit easier for me. But the whole point of the game is that I want you to explore, I want you to have fun, I want you to find things around every corner. Some things are going to be, you know, weird and esoteric and a bit peculiar. Some are going to be interesting or funny. But the whole point is that I want you to be able to go around the game and come across and find things that you want to find out more. Anyway, I'm going to have a sip of my coffee. Delicious. Okay then. So let's continue on our way. Now, over here on the left, this is the new sky. Now, because I'm broadcasting this, I've turned the resolution on my sky down a bit. This isn't an image, this is what's known as Volumetric Clouds inside of Unreal Engine 5, which is what I'm using. So the clouds cast shadows and they pick up light from the sun based on where the sun is in the sky. The sky at the minute, it's about 1 o'clock in the afternoon in Scotland in April. So as you can imagine, it's not particularly warm looking, it's not particularly bright and sunny, but that's okay because Scotland's beautiful. The clouds are moving in real time. If I increase the wind, these things are going to blow around and stuff, you know. It's all just part of building the atmosphere for the island so that you feel that you're inside the game enjoying yourself. Okay, so as you can see, we've got foliage everywhere. I'm not the most riveting YouTuber, but, you know, I'll give it a go. So let's start playing the game. I need to go and talk to my boy down here. So let's go and talk to him. Now, it's a bit of a trek. I don't want to jump off the edge, because if I jump off the edge, I think I'm going to break my legs, because it is quite a long way. And I'm not going to jump into the water and swim, because the North Sea is very, very, very cold. Actually, that's the Atlantic Ocean, and that's even colder. So, you know, I'm going to take my time, just walk down these stairs, and walk over there. Oh, I've gone down too far. Oh, no. Well, that's okay. Let's go over there and get over there to talk to our sailor. Oh no, it started to rain. That's another thing, we have dynamic weather here. So if it's cloudy, there's a chance the rain's going to kick in, as you can see. Okay, so I can see he's just up here on these stairs. Let's talk to him. And when I talk to him, it tells me, you know, what I'm supposed to be doing while I'm playing. So, the sailor, you look like you've lost your bearings. Are you all right? So he's looking at us with concern. Look at that manly chest he's got going on there. That's a person radiating concern, I think we all agree. So I'm going to say I feel fine. The Wanderer is about to set off again in a moment. It's a good vessel, but too big to get near the rock. Well, I'm going to politely say thank you for the help. The sailor turns to watch the ocean. She's looking fine today. The weather's been fair. Aye. So off he goes. Great, so we know what we're supposed to be doing. I don't know if you just saw a little quest had popped up. We need to find Jack. Now, I can go back to the ship if I want to, you know. If I wanted to, I could walk over here, and if I was quick, and I mean quick, I could run onto this ship, which is just starting to pull away, and it will take me all the way back to the mainland again. Sort of. So, you know, there's always the option. You can bail if you want. Bye-bye, Wanderer. We'll see you later on. And there she goes. Well, I'm not going to do that, but it's getting dark, you know? So I think I'm going to want to come down here and go back up to the island before it gets too dark and go and find Captain Malin. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to climb up here. You can see, I can see my stairs in front of me. And I'm going to go up here. And oh, it's very dark, I must admit. That's because we've got a storm on though, and the storm affects the lighting. It's very dynamic. So just keep going up here until I get to the top. Nearly there. And once I'm there, I can go and talk to the other sailors, and they're going to give me a clue on what it is that I need to do to get around the island. So, if I don't want to walk, I can run. I don't need to worry about running out of energy. Ah, and there's a sailor over there. Now who's that? Now I think that could be Neil. So I'm going to run up. There we go. So the island's leafy and pleasant. Ahead you can see a sailor waiting for you, while the old buildings on the platform are squatting, boarded up as if they're waiting. I wonder what they're waiting for. Me, probably. Okay, so let's go and see this sailor here. Oh, hello there. The sailor looks towards you with a surprised look. You made it! You should head to the mainland to see Captain Malin then. Well, that seems like a good idea, doesn't it? What am I doing here? Where's the lighthouse? Well, it's to work at a lighthouse, and I can't. Well, the sailor looks at my confused expression for a moment, a trace of sympathy on his face. The main ship doesn't dock on the rock. You've got to make your way onto the main island from here. It's dangerous for larger ships at the rock, you see. Yeah, fair enough. Well, I'm not going to investigate any further, because that's up for people playing the demo if they want to dig in further and find other things out. I'm just going to say thank you. So thank you. And now I can move on. Puppies. Sorry about this, I've got some puppies over there and they're being very loud. Now over here, there's another couple of sailors that I can talk to. I think that's Nathan and Neville. And over here, if the dog ever stops making funny noises, silly dog, ahead I can see a torch and battery sitting on a crate. It's pretty light at the moment, but I suspect they've been put here for my use, so I should probably take them. Well, it's true, I probably should take them, shouldn't I? Before I do, let me just turn down the volume on this. So I'm just going to go to my volume mixer and just turn down some of the music. And it stops me having to go into the settings for the wiki, because I don't want to do that in a minute. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here and I'm going to pick up the torch that's just sitting here. So, I can combine the battery. Come on, little puppy, I want you out. Out you go. Silly puppy. I can combine the battery and the torch in my inventory. That way the torch will have power from good old British batteries that last longer than 5 minutes. Well, yeah, because if we've got a torch, it's very rare the battery's going to run out in 5 minutes. We probably won't have to grab another battery at all, to be honest. So, I'll grab this. And just there I can see the battery. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do what any sensible person does in this kind of game. I'm going to combine my battery and my torch to make a working torch. Now this, of course, is very handy because it means that I can go round now and explore the island. If anyone has anywhere that they'd like me to go and explore on the island, please do let me know. There's plenty of places here. Now if I go over here, here's another wee character just past this bicycle. Who's this? Ah, this is Peter de Bowl. And Peter de Bowl here, well, raises his eyes from the book to look at you, briefly, and then his eyes return to the book. What are you reading? He looks up, irritated, to be interrupted. What, this? It's a treatise on the geology of the Hebrides. Wow, boring. Is it good? He smiles in a somewhat condescending manner. Well, if you like rocks and the history of rocks, then it's excellent. Well, I'm assuming you love rocks. You could say that. I'm fascinated by rare formations, most definitely, and there are plenty here. Ah, seems like an introduction to an interesting character. Well, I'm going to tell him I'm called Bill, because that's my name. I am Bill Fisher. He finally smiles. Peter Edwin de Bowl. Call me Peter. Pleasure, Bill. First polite person I've met today. So, I'm going to ask him about the sailors. He looks annoyed. Joyless lot. Won't talk to a lubber like me, I guess. Not local types either. Well, I'm pretty much done talking to him. I'm sure there's nothing more interesting that he's got to say or do or have any impact on the game, so I'm going to go. Goodbye to you. See you on the other side. And he smiles and gets back to checking something in his book. Alright, so, you know, we've got some interesting information about him. Certainly is getting a bit darker here, but that's okay. Now, I don't really want to talk to those two sailors over there. I know they've got some dialogue and I can find out some things from them, but to be quite honest, you know, I know enough as it is. Now I can see something through there, so they do. Hissing water pipes seem to be hiding a narrow passageway. So I can probably go through there if I want to, but let's continue exploring. Now, as a little bit of information, when I first made the wiki and came up with this island about a year and a bit ago for this part, there was actually a side quest in here where we had to collect a lot of items in order to be able to move on. But, you know, it seems silly. What's the point in stopping people from moving on to the next section? You know, you can do the quest anyway. There's no point locking you out from being able to do something. Now, up here, this is the way to the top of the gondola chairlift. It's connecting the main island here to the big island over there. Okay, now if I can look around, I can get quite a good view from up here. So I'll get up on top. There we go. A little bit weird and rickety in places. We can probably fall to our death if we're not extremely careful, but that's okay. We'll try not to. And now we can see the gondola stretching off into the distance over there. And I'll put my torch away for the moment. Over there we can see a kind of a gate. So that's leading on somewhere interesting. And then if I just step onto the roof, I can access some other bits that maybe I hadn't tried to access before. You know, because there's some gantries going off down there, so I'm presuming they lead somewhere interesting. Or I can walk across these pipes and get access to other parts of the map that I may not have been able to get to before. So there's plenty of, you know, things for me to see and do up here. Now, that's not too far a drop. I reckon I can fall without hurting myself too badly. And I did. Fantastic. Now, if you're not sure which way to go, it looks like Captain Malin has left some very handy signs on the floor. So, you know, we always know roughly what way we're supposed to go if we get stuck. You can see that there are gantries and climbing ways all the way down there as well. So I can assume something's going on down there that we can get to. Who knows what it is though. Okay. Let's continue on our minor adventure, because we do have to go and find Captain Malin. And we did get a wee quest saying we need to go and talk to Jack, and he's going to tell us what we need to do next. So, I'm going to walk past my little information boxes that are going to tell me over and over again about torches, which is handy. And here's Jack, our good friend Jack. Now Jack is an American. Let's see what he has to say. Well, quest started, my new quest. I've got to board the gondola lift and find Captain Malin. So he looks up at you and checks his watch. He changes expression slightly. A small welcoming smile. So I'll do a really realistic American accent just for my new friends. Hello, Bill. You need to get to the main island now. I take the gondola to the island then, sir, you ask the gentleman. He has a slight American twang to his accent you find hard to place. Please, call me Jack. I'm the assistant keeper, or AK second to the captain. Yep, you need to get to the gondola if you want to get there quickly. Right, you say, so this takes me exactly where I need to go. You look at the Victorian-era gondola. It looks in fair condition, and you can hear the quiet motor purring. He thinks for a moment, towards the harbour. Okay, so it's telling me how to get there once I get to the other side. What else? It doesn't look the safest way, but it leads to the old concrete access way. Troy Malin placed some marker lights to make it easier to find your way. Wow, I'm getting good at this American accent, aren't I? Okay, that's cool. Let's click it again. Just be careful, take it slow, and you'll get to the main stairway. Mel's and walks away towards the rear gantry. Well, goodbye, Jack. That's excellently helpful. So Jack walks away very quietly. Sometimes they do that, the characters in this. They'll just vanish and wander off. Other times they'll stay there. But, we can see we have a gondola and we have access ways to it. So that's pretty helpful. Now, I can see a notice written just here that says Segway Island Gondola Lift. Now, do we want to read this? Well, this is just information, isn't it? It's the Dolores Hodgson gondola you see here was built in 1892 by the Malin family. Blah, 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 goes on a bit. And then it says, we hope you enjoy your gondola journey. You can find other great gondolas installed by Dolores Hodgson at such places as Kingsport Chops, the Innsmouth to Berry Rock Transporter, Rickenback Falls Horse and Baggage Lift, the Innisor Fish Transporter, the Lengian Institute for Research in the Himalayas, under construction, and Nell's Peak Sanatorium. Fab, so there's a few of these. Now if I click E, the letter's vanished. Why is it vanished? Because I've got a copy of it. It's in my documents. I can read it whenever I want. Fabulous. Now, it's a bit dark this way, so let's turn the torch on. Nice bright torch. I thought it'd be nice to be able to see where we're going and what we're doing. And if I come along here, the motors are all in place and working, and I think we are ready to take our trip on the gondola. So, I've got on board the gondola that Jack's unlocked for me, and I'm going to travel to the main island. Oh, it is still so foggy out there, just incredibly overcast. But that's okay. We'll take it as it comes. How does that sound? I'm going to have a drink of my coffee. Oh, that is damn delicious. Okay, whilst I'm on this journey, which used to be 11 minutes long in real time and is now shortcut like this, I'll say a quick hello to my friends in, Red Team, and also to all the people that have been, supporting me and hanging out in all the previous streams I've been doing while I've been building this. Okay, so what we can see here is I'm now on the main island. Okay, and the main island, you can see we're getting a little bit of frame loss here simply because, I'm streaming, I've got 8 windows open. I do apologise for that. But what we want to do is we want to get off here and go to our main area where we can find Malin. Now, I'm just going to have a quick look at my settings. Just make sure I don't have them set ridiculous. Screen resolution, 3200, but you think it is. I think it might be. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to adjust that, because I didn't realise I was using such a silly high resolution. I don't think I really need to. I think 1920 by 1080 is probably going to be enough. And I'll just click apply. There we go. And now I can come out again. That would explain an awful lot as to why I was suddenly, in extremely stilted vision, because I'm trying to stream this at highest resolution while streaming it. That's a bit of a crazy way of doing it. Anyway, here I am. I'm at the main island. And if I look around, I can see we've got the sun over there beating through the clouds. It's a beautiful evening. Waves are splashing on the shore. And over here, well, this must be the island of the rock, Pandora's Rock, that we heard about so much. Now, let me just turn this all the way down so it doesn't distract us too much, because it is very distracting. And he said that I should head towards the harbour. Well, I know the harbour's over there, okay, but if we didn't know the harbour was over there, we might be tempted to go down here. And if we were to go down here, what might we find? Well, let's go and have a look, shall we? Doop-a-doop-a-doo. Well, over there I can see there's a village nestling on the side of a hill. And then if I come down here, there's a letter. I am the... Oh, that doesn't sound very good. That sounds a little bit ominous. Someone's the crawling chaos, apparently. Well, there's been some lamps lit for us, so that's helpful. So if I was to come down here, I can see that, well, there's a cart. There's a cartway. I could go down here, I would imagine, and I might be able to use that cart for something if I was feeling patient. But you know what? I'm going to do what I was told by Jack. So I'm not going to fall off the edge, and I'm not going to do all the things that I want to do. Instead, I'm going to be very conscientious, and I'm going to walk over here. So let's go over here. And when I walk over here, well, for anyone who's interested in a little bit of trivia, this entire island is based on St Kilda, out in the Outer Hebrides. And St Kilda is the most remote island in the United Kingdom. It's 150 kilometres off the west coast, okay? About as far as it's possible to get before, you're just in the middle of the Atlantic. Now, obviously I've made some changes to the island. It doesn't actually have all the weird mysteries that are going on. But, it's a beautiful island, and I will be visiting it later this year, now that it's reopened again after COVID, so I'm genuinely looking forward to it. Anyway, let's continue down here, because I know where I'm going, and I know this is a game about exploration and finding your way, but you know what? I already know where I'm going, and that's over here. And what I'm doing is I'm looking for Captain Malin, because Captain Malin is going to help me by telling me what it is I need to do next. Now, maybe he's got a job for me. I'm not entirely sure. Now, bear in mind that I know exactly how to get to Captain Malin. I know how to get across these weird walkways because, I designed this. But the whole point is that I want you, while you're exploring it, to find other ways. So far, there are 17 ways to get to Captain Malin and to complete the first day's kind of tutorial task. I'm constantly adding more, just, you know, to try and challenge myself, really. So, you know, give it a good old English try, and or Welsh try, or Scottish try, and, you know, see what you can come up with. Now, I'm going to go up here and have a look over the edge while I can. There's a lot of strange climbing up here, as you can see, and it's very easy for me to, you know, end up in a place where I'm going to fall to my death without realising. Now, back there, well, that's where we used to have the folly. But in recent builds, the folly is no longer visible over there, and people playing the game will find out why eventually. And then all the way up there, well, is that our lighthouse? I think it is. That is our lighthouse. Okay, so how are we going to get there to it? Well, let's continue. I can see there's some sort of gate with fireflies around it. So let's go through this gate. And there's the harbour that we were talking about. And there's some rails going to the harbour. Fantastic. Things are starting to work out for us. We know more or less where we're supposed to go. So, I've turned off most of the tutorials now. By the way, if you think I'm talking a lot, just turn the volume off. Or talk yourself, I don't mind. It's not like I'll even know. But the tutorial at this point would be saying, duck. That way you'll not bang your head on the beam when you come up here. Okay, so I'm assuming people know how to duck, so I'm not going to go over it again. So let's go over here. Okay, I'm going to keep walking around, just nice and slowly. And again, I should point out I know exactly where I'm going, which is a big help. Now, I did add a little bit of a glow to characters, so we can see over there someone is glowing, which is giving us an indication that, you know, there's someone over there that we can talk to, which is going to be a big help. Let's go and talk to him. So I'm going to make my way. I'm not going to run, because if I run I might well fall to my death, and I'm not too keen to fall to my death straight away, especially when I'm broadcasting live on Steam. That would be embarrassing. So let's get over here. Again, remember I've got the audio turned off. You are welcome to make your own sound effects and music if you so like. For your reference, the game itself has 4 hours of original music, split over various different moods, and the music itself was developed by the rather nice chap who did the music for A Night in the Woods, as well as another rather good composer, and absolutely delightful. I've been nothing but pleased with how it's came along. Okay, so here's a sign, so we can see that the key's over there, the gondola lift's over there. That's good news. I've still got my flashlight, so I can pull that out and turn it on if I want to. Let's have a wee bit explore over here and see what we can see, because there's a lot of strange stuff here, including some rails that go over here to these doors. I can only assume there's something behind these doors. I wonder what it is. I'm willing to bet that at some point in our adventure we find out. And what a beautiful sunset. But for the minute, let's go and find our good friend Captain Malin. Now, Captain Malin, unlike the other characters in the game, is voiced by a voice actor called Rob Sharp, and he has done a fantastic job on doing the voice for Captain Malin. But I'm going to keep the audio turned off for the moment, just so that I can talk and explain what's happening and talk about anything interesting at the same time. So let me see, I'm going to... Whee! Oh, I thought I was going to jump over, but I didn't quite. Oh well. Let's try jumping this way. Nope, there. Come in down here on the ground, and there is our good chum, Captain Malin. Hello, Captain Malin. How are you? Now then, I just want to quickly check something, so I'm just going to hit Tab to pause out of this. Okay. And close that little window, because I've got far too many little windows that are open on my thing. There we go. I just want to make sure that I'm not getting too much audio coming through on this, because I don't want too much audio. Because it is going to be distracting if I'm trying to explain things. So please do bear with me. There we go. I'll turn that on as well. Perfect. Okay, let's get back onto this. So hello, Malin. You approach the old sailor. He has a cheerful smile, and and a pipe you can smell even when you are 10 feet away. This must be Captain Malin.
Young'un, welcome to the Raw. Your first time here, she's a beautiful and welcoming to you.
She is beautiful and welcoming to me. Thank you, Captain Malin. So I'll click my button. The old Lighthouse Keeper welcomes you to the island with a smile. The island looks peaceful today, beautiful and resting. He looks up at the Keeper's house and then down over the cliff towards the quay, shaking his head. The vastness of this...
Start the journey.
Now, Scottish is not obviously my first colloquial tongue, but what he's saying here is that get the torch if we don't have one. Just keep it, very kind of him. And he wants us to go and prime the pump in the engine room with some diesel and then run up and start the generator. Captain Malin indicates a torch and fresh batteries on the barrel beside himself. If you don't have a torch, perhaps now is the time to get one. Again, this is the tutorial level.
Good lad. See you at the house.
So with that, he checks his ornate pocket watch, and on that note, walks off to catch up on his work. So, we now have seen Captain Malin, and he has given us a job to do. Now, what is that job? That job is to get some primer for the engine room, and take it up to the engine room, and put it in the pump. Now, the problem is, okay, as you will find out if you get around to playing the demo, when you find the engine room, well, the engine room is all the way behind me, up halfway up the side of the cliff. And the primer fuel is in a wee tank over there. So what I've got to do is I've got to get up there with the fuel that is stored down here. No, it's not particularly difficult. It's just, you know, a fetch quest. But it's going to show us that we can pick things up and take them places. And again, I've turned off the audio, otherwise you'll be listening to waves crashing on the ocean and all that good stuff. So, this is the engine room. Now, I've got a wee question for you, and it's a good one. Why is the engine room so big? I mean, we only need it to run power into the house at the top. The lighthouse has its own sub-generator. So what on earth does this island need such a huge generator for? Honestly, it's a mystery. Never mind, let's go in here. Right, so inside here I can see, well, there's a few tables with some bits and bobs on it. And I've got a new quest. Find some fuel at the bottom fuel store area to prime the main generator at the top. Well, I think I found some. I'm pretty sure this is fuel. I can collect loads of them if I want, but I only need one really. Okay, so with that, I can see I've got loads of fuel tanks down here and loads of exciting buttons and knobs I could be pressing. But I think I need to go and find the engine room. And as I say, I already know where the engine room is, so that's going to make my job a wee bit easier. So I'll get my torch out, because I don't want to fall to my death if I accidentally go the wrong way. And let's traverse the side of this bloody enormous cliff to get to the top of it. So, up I go. And if you want to, you can run. That's a really good way of falling to your doom if you accidentally misstep, especially if you're not used to where things are, because these stairs are crazy steep. Absolutely crazy steep. There we go, getting that, getting that, getting that. Are we there yet? No, of course we're not there yet. It's just the sun burning through from over here. Now, you may be asking yourself, are those gantries and access ways and things up there? Yeah, of course they are. Then you may ask me as well, can I use those to get to the top? Yeah, of course you can. Just another way of getting up there. I'm just using this old stone staircase though, because this is the first thing that I built when I built the island. And it has a lot of nostalgic value for me, so I like to take it up. But, as I say, the whole point of this game is I want you to find your own ways. I want you to be able to go, I found a way that no one else has found, or I found a way that's really fast, or I found a way and it ended up killing me. Or all these things. There's all sorts of reasons you'd be finding places. Now, here I am. I've made it, at last, up here to the engine room. And we can see on the floor it says engine room and anger. Oh, probably danger. Now, I could continue on up here to the actual lighthouse, But I have a wee issue here in that this gate is closed, and so I'm not going to be able to go through it. So basically what's happening is I've got to go and solve this wee puzzle involving, you know, the fuel and stuff like that. Well, that's okay. If I go this way, again, you know, there are clues on the island that are going to help you find where you're supposed to go. So don't feel that you're just being cast adrift. And there is music all the time. It's just I've got it turned off so you can hear my beautiful voice. Hello. If we go over here, we can see that we've got a doorway we can go into. Engine room. Brilliant. And inside here, fuel primer. Add primer fuel here, danger of death. Well, I'm going to select my fuel. Now I'll come out of this, and you'll be hearing the sounds of it doing stuff, but as it stands, the engine room has kicked off the main primer engines, and as such the main belt feed engine in here. And if I were to go through here, all the various generators and fuel pumps and all the parts that make up the engine room are now working fantastic. Okay, so you can feel properly pleased with yourself if that's what you did. Okay, well, that's positive. Especially as I'm playing this live and I hadn't tested this build, so you know, for me it's a little bit of a running with scissors kind of thing. Now, if I go up here, we could follow this route and go all the way back down to the subsidiary levels down there. Also, you know, there's plenty of exploring that we could be doing to find out where the hell these enormous pipes lead and what they're for and what could possibly be through the doorway over there. But you're not interested in that. Of course you're not. You're probably wondering, where's the zombies? Why can't I shoot zombies? Maybe zombies. There aren't any zombies. Okay, let's go over here. And now that we've done this, presumably the failsafe that keeps that wee gate shut is now deactivated. Oh, it is. It's working. The wee lamps work as well. That's good news too. That means that our way is lit ahead of us. Okay, so I'm going to go through here. And if I look up, well, there's hardly any distance at all left to go, is there? That's good news. Now, I can see a wee signpost there. Let's go and see what it says. It says Lighthouse and Stones. What stones? Well, funny you should say that, Chris. Why? Well, over there we can see there are standing stones, way off in the distance. I'm sure at some point we might even get to go and examine the standing stones and see what they're up to. Now, I've got this fairly optimised at the moment for streaming. I'll turn the res up a wee bit because the anti-aliasing is kicking in a bit and it's a tiny bit aggravating. So I'm going to go to settings and let me see, I've got resolution here. I'm going to set that up to around about 85 and click apply. There we go. And what that's going to use is it's going to use temporal supersampling just to kind of increase the quality that you're seeing a wee bit. Not a lot, because I want to be able to play the game at above 1 frame a second while I'm broadcasting. But you get the point. Right, more stairs. Let's go and see what's at the top of them. I'll give you a clue. It's a lighthouse. We'll turn our lamp on. There we go. And keep going up here. And the first thing, when we get up here, well, there are various areas where we can get off and continue exploring. One of the things we might want to explore is, what the hell is that? I don't know. Whoever designed this island is obviously a madman. But that's okay, let's keep exploring. Oh, such a big island. You know, your legs are going to fall off. If only there was a lift. Well, there might be a lift. But while we're wondering about whether or not there's a lift, there's also an entire other half of the island over here for us to go and explore. And oh, it is explorable. And there is things over there. Now, you may not be able to see them straight away, but trust me, there are things to find and do on the island. And plenty of them. Now, we come up here to this next gate, and, well, there's nothing here. We can just go straight through, so that's good news. There's an old damaged fence on the left-hand side. That looks like it won't last very long, doesn't it? Probably fall down before too long. And ahead, well, there's a wee sign that says Lighthouse. So we know which way we're supposed to be going now, so that's a big help. So I'm going to go up here. I think I got stuck behind a pebble. I did get stuck behind a pebble. How embarrassing. Am I stuck on a... Yeah, there we go. I did get stuck. There we go. Let's just do this. Right, there's our lighthouse sign. And so what I'm going to do is, because I'm up high now, I don't really need to... what's the word I'm looking for? I don't really need to use my torch because it's plenty bright enough up here. So I'm just going to walk over and have a look around and put my torch away. There we go. And that'll give us a good, you know, a good chance to have a wee look up here and see what's going down. So there's some more stairs. And over here, well, there's stuff over the side of this fence. Walkways, pathways, and things to be discovered. But you know what? No one's interested in discovering secrets and adventures. So let's go up to the lighthouse. Secrets and adventures indeed. You'll be telling me it's a Lovecraftian mystery next. Right, so here we are now, and we're at the top. Now, down here, here is the Lighthouse Keeper's delicious garden. At the minute it's a wee bit barren. There's not that many crops and plants here. Maybe you could plant some. Something to think about, isn't it? Then again, over here, we also have various herbs. So we've got things like parsley, and we've got thyme, and various other things. Maybe we could pick them and use them to make delicious food. Over here we've got a ram's head. I don't know why, maybe it keeps the crows away. Anyway, let's continue on our quest to go and find where the heck the lighthouse is. I'll give you a clue. It's there. And let's continue having a wee bit of an explore. Now, over there, we can still see the gondola going all the way across the sea back to Gondola Island. Now, at the minute, I've got it turned off that, you know, you have to do the full 11-minute journey in real time, looking at the sea as it goes past. For people who are really, really, really into extremely long gondola journeys, looking at the ocean and watching the weather outside, I will be re-enabling it just for those people who select it as an option. But for the rest of us, I think I'm going to keep it switched off for the time being. Anyway, here's a wee lake just outside the lighthouse there. What purpose does that have? Why is this up here? I'm sure it doesn't serve any purpose. I think it's just here to be completely decorative and nothing else, don't you? Here's a small wee hut with a little pier that goes down over the edge of the cliff. I wonder what that's for. Ah, nothing important. Let's look over here. There's a giant gate underneath the lighthouse. That's weird. And who's that up there? That looks a little bit like Jack seen from a distance. Well, you got me. That could well be Jack seen from a distance. Now over there we have an observatory. No one's interested in observatories and esoteric things, are they? Let's go back to our lighthouse. You don't want to be exploring stuff. Exploring's interesting. You want to do your zombie wave shooters. Okay, let's go over here. Dum 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 dum. Okay, now I'm just going to jump over this wall because I'm lazy. I'm not going to go around. And let's go up these stairs into the house, because that's almost certainly where the game finishes, and we can all have a lovely sleep. So I'll go up here. In the doorway. Oh, there's Jack. He must have came inside. Hello, Jack. How are you? The assistant keeper's here, waiting on you. He looks at his watch, and then he looks at you. He nods, pleased you've arrived. To your left, you can smell food. He points to the door on your right. I don't want to the left. If you need food and a quick break, there's stovies on the dining table. He looks faintly cheerful at the thought of stovies. Well, to be honest, we all feel cheerful at the thought of stovies. Ooh. God, I love stovies. He looks faintly embarrassed. Anyway, go on. Eddie, go through as soon as you're done, eh? And he wanders off. So, he's going off to do something else. Well, I, in that case, will go in here. And, oh, look at that. Things. Well, here's a big bowl of delicious and tasty stovies. Look at that. That's the kind of quality you would expect from a game by Swirly, I think. So I'm going to click collect. And, oh, there's a key underneath it. I can't imagine that's useful for anything. And then here, some sort of weird story. I'm not going to bother reading that. Now over here, there's another wee book. Oh, it's a Stovies recipe. Stovies, warm your belly and keep you full for a day of working. Brilliant. It's a real Stovies recipe as well. So you know how to make the delicious food and you can eat it while you're playing the Wickie. Then over here, there's some sort of a small tale. Who knows what it's about. It said Cthulhu, but I can't imagine that because no one makes, you know, Lovecraftian games. That would be silly. Hello again. Right, let's go through here. Oh, here I am in the lighthouse. It's full of wee engines and things. That's kind of cool. So I can explore the lighthouse should I so wish. For example, I can go here into this office. And when I do, I can see, you know, there's Captain Malin. There's various books out that I can read. There's one there, for example. What's this book? Show transcription. Ophanil by the Briar Oh, it's poetry. I do enjoy poetry. It looks like there's more books over there as well, and things to read and stuff behind Malin. Almost as if there's a whole literary world waiting. Can't imagine that. That seems like a lot of effort for an indie game. Okay, let's go over here. There's a notice board over there. I'm sure it's got interesting things tacked on it. And if I go through here, what I will eventually find, if I know where to look, and go past all the locked doors, is Captain Malin. Hello, Captain Malin. How are you? Captain Malin for you as you come back in. He nods approvingly. There were a fair smile tonight for a change, he begins. Malin indicates the door behind you. Sit yourself down and tuck in while I tell you some history of the place. And he strides off to the dining room. Well, this can only mean that we're supposed to go into the dining room, which is probably closed. No, it's open. There we go. And there's Malin there, waiting beside some sort of crazy-looking picture. Well, I would imagine, even though I just clipped through that door, not that my game has any bugs, I probably need to find some sort of a key so that I can open that door. And where the heck could I possibly find that sort of a key from? Yeah, I don't want to go that way. But I could go right. So, presumably what I could do is I could pick up this wee key here, and this key might open a door, and I could go through the door that this key opens and have some sort of adventure. But again, I can't imagine anyone wants to have any adventures because, you know, adventures are hard work. So maybe I could go up the lighthouse and go and look for ships. But, you know, no one wants to go and do work in a lighthouse looking for ships. That sounds boring. Even if Jack is outside waiting for me. So what I'm going to do instead, I think, is I'm going to go upstairs to my bed. Get myself some sleep. That's what I need. So I'll go up here. And go and find my bedroom. Now, I haven't finished all my stuff for the day. Captain Malin, for example, hasn't told me a wee story. But I could go to the bathroom first, I suppose, and do my ablutions. Or I could go in here and... Oh. Hello. Who are you? The sailor looks up at you as you enter the bedroom. Oh there, Bill. See him? And he looks approvingly at me. Oh, bless him. There's a big story as to how he lost his arm, by the way. For you. They are? Oh, aye. And he nods enthusiastically. The first couple of days in the island are going to be a lot of fun for you, I think, eh? Good. He smiles. So now you can finish up your day if you like, or abroad if you want. A lot of parts are closed. I warn you though. Why are the paths closed, my newest best friend? He scratches his stump. Well, you want some secrets to be finding, I'll assume. You can have a hint, though. Ooh. Ha! Well, there are some secrets you can find, and when you finally wake up on day 2, well, the world is going to seem a much bigger place. Eh? Bigger? Hi. You see, you think this is the only island the Malin family owns, young'un. It's a wonderful world out there. Let's go exploring. And he walks off. Aye, because this is not the only world, the only island that belongs to the Malins. We have Gondola Island, we have the Rock, but we also have some transport network that perhaps you haven't found yet. So maybe you should have a wee look around when there's time. Now in the meantime, I suppose, I've found all the secrets that are there to be found. There's not a lot else for me to really do in the game, is there? So, although there is a wee button here, and I can press it, and this area will open, and well, there's drawers and things through here. It's almost like this is an area that's going to be filled with bonus items that you'll be able to come and visit and use and take advantage of. It's almost like there's going to be rooms in here that are filled with portraits of things that you've achieved and things that you've done. And maybe you'll find mysterious items in here that are going to help you on your way and help you upgrade your character. Because that's the point of a video game, is just having fun, being able to expand and do all the things that you really want to do in a game. And that's one of the reasons why I built this in the first place. So, I hope you've enjoyed our wee look around in the wiki. Now, I've got a wee bit of a question there asking if they can have a look over the side of the cliff. And I'm like, yeah, of course you can. I've got no objection to anyone wanting to look at things. Let's leave the house. And as I've said before, there's an awful lot of stuff going on here, so the house is pretty busy. Oh, there's a letter. What does this say? Nothing important. Brilliant. Now, over that cliff, well, that leads down to the, what's it called again? The quay, the main harbour. But over here, well, I'm sure we've got some other stuff. Let's go and see what there is. Kind of excited now to have a look, aren't you? Someone said there's supposed to be some deer running around in here. I wonder where the deer are. Oh yeah, they're having a wee rest while this is the demo version, until the full version comes out. And then you'll be able to see Toby and the rest of the deer. Meanwhile, well, seems to be some stuff down there. I wonder if we can go and visit. Well, of course we can. And if we were to go over here to this, I'm pretty sure we can see all sorts of things from the back here, if we were to look hard enough. Aye, there we go, look. So there's a village and some sort of a quay going on down there. And there's some sort of another lake going on down over there. And something over there, I'm not sure what that is. And then there's some big rocks over there that are hiding, no doubt, nothing interesting that you'd want to look at. I'm only joking, there's secrets everywhere. And that's the whole point of the game. So, I'm going to go back to the main menu. I'm going to be just answering a few questions that people are kind enough to post up. Things that they've been asking about the wiki. Things they've been asking about the development. So, here's a good question here. How much exploration is there in the wiki? Well, that's a very good question, thanks for asking. The main island itself we're on now, that's 4 square kilometres. Not that there are any others, but if there were, they might be 11 square kilometres. Now, you and I both that 11 square kilometres, or 4 square kilometres, 6 square kilometres of space. It's easy to make 6 square kilometres of space. The fun bit is having things to do inside of it. And be exploring above and below the island. You're going to be looking for secrets. You're going to be trying to find things that, have been covered for years. Trying to find out the secret of the Malin's family. And you're going to be trying to find out the secrets behind the sailors and definitely what's going on with that geologist Peter de Boer. So I'd like to ask you to please be on this adventure. You don't have to, you don't have to invest in buying the full game. You're welcome to just play when the game comes out. Watch other people play if you want. But I've spent 3 years so far building this and it to try and make an interactive and adventure that goes over 14 days in the life of our main character Bill as he's finding out what's happening on this island. And I would love it if you came with me and also tried to find out more. So, as we now reach 9 o'clock and things are coming to an end. Oh, I've got a question here. Is this using Unreal Engine 5? Aye, it's using Unreal Engine 5, yes. Look at that, 77% frame drops. That's very sad. It's using Unreal Engine 5 for just about everything. If you're thinking about the ocean system, I'm not using the water system inside of Unreal Engine because I have some limitation problems with that when it comes to building oceans, because this water is enormous. I'm using this system instead, which is an excellent water system, and as you can see it generates breakwater next to objects, it does depth, and it's got underwater effects. Now that's an excellent question. Swimming. So if I wanted to, I could jump in the water, and if I had enough strength and enough stamina, I could certainly swim all the way to the main island. Now, whether I'd want to or not, I mean, that's negligible, because it's a long bloody way. You'd be spending an awful long time. But if you wanted to swim across to the main island, you certainly can do that. Now, at the minute, because I'm, fairly weak, if I was to jump into the water, I'd probably just drown. It's freezing cold in there, and I don't have a whole lot of strength because, I'm not a burly lighthouse keeping person. But the option is, if you want to spend some time trying to find secret ways or, just drinking various healthy drinks or whatever, you can. And that will probably set you off in the right direction to get strong enough to go across. Another question. So, male or female for the main protagonist character? Well, at the minute the protagonist, Bill, is, even though, you don't see Bill, Bill's kind of just not really sexed, not really male or female. We'll assume that Bill's a male for the time being, and we often refer to Bill as a he, but I would like to try and build this to, there's no reason why you can't play a lassie going off to go and run the lighthouse. Wilhelmina, perhaps. I'm saying this because, obviously I think it's fun to kind of include and, not let people think you're locked into just being a dude if you don't want to be. You can be whoever the heck you want, quite frankly. I mean, on the subject of being who you want to be, just these 4 sailors alone are a fairly diverse group, as you can see. And this is just 4 of the characters. That's another question. Yep. So that's a very good question there. Hang on a second. I'm just going to check this stream because it seems to be a little bit broken. There we go. So another good question here. Why are the characters, 2D illustrations like this? Excellent question. They're like this. Well, I don't really want to tell you, okay, but there is a reason. They may not necessarily stay like this for the entire game, or maybe they will, who knows. Maybe it's just how you're perceiving them. It's something to be thinking of, I think, isn't it? So, just something for you to have a wee think about. So will there be any combat in the game? So many good questions. Well, yeah. This is a full 3D engine with full 3D capabilities. I think it unlikely there's not going to be, a good chance for you to get your arms and legs ripped off by something that's not very happy to see you. At the minute, what you're seeing is, this is the original kind of first-person character system that's driving how we move and how we do things and stuff. Now, I am busy upgrading the character system at the minute because I want to be able to do more man-cling, and I like the idea of, being able to have your arms ripped off So keep watching. The demo will update, I would imagine, in the next 4 to 6 weeks, and the mantling system and the new improved first person kind of system rather than one we're using will kick in. And the good thing is that it will allow you to dynamically switch as well between first and third person, which I think is going to be, you know, an excellent boost. Right, do we have any other questions before I shut down for the day? Well, I can't see any, but for all you people who have stayed here and been with me while I've been doing this, I'd like to say a big thank you. Okay, independent video game development is hard as hell. I've been in the industry for over 20 years, and working as an indie developer has kicked my arse, quite frankly. It's rewarding and fun, and if you ever want to get into it, please feel free to hit me up and I'll be glad to chat with you and, you know, give you any advice I can think of to try and send you on your way. But until that, I'm going to say a fond farewell, and